Hello, my YouTube family. Today is Friday, and on my live stream, I want to say it was on Wednesday, I told you guys that I was going to come on here and do a video on how to start an online business. So that is what I'm going to do today. Let me grab this that I need real quick. Okay, so basically, if you haven't seen my previous live streams, I started an online boutique. It's women's clothing, it's air freshies, which basically go in your car, and I think I have a few that I can show you, along with jewelry, you know, earrings, necklaces, bracelets, etc. So this isn't my first business, not my first rodeo. Back in 2013, I started a cleaning business, and that ran very successful up until my pregnancy. I was a high-risk pregnancy with my daughter just because I had miscarriages previous before that, and so I wasn't able to work like I wanted to. So at that time, I had hired a girl, and if you've run and owned a business before, you know how hard it is to find people who are trustworthy, reliable, and most of all, dependable. It is very hard. Not everybody wants to clean, and if they do, they don't always want to give it 100%. So it is very hard to find someone who's going to stick with it and who's going to continue, you know, continue to work the way you did and still uphold your business name when you're unable to work. So I was lucky enough to find a young lady. She was going to school at the time, so she was looking for some hours part-time, which was perfect because I was able to, you know, employ her, keep my business going while I was pregnant, and she just came at the perfect time. Well, then it came, she was in her senior year and she was getting ready to graduate, so she was getting ready to leave. And so that's basically where my business ended. It became more stressful toward the end after she did leave and graduate. Then I had two other ladies, and let me tell you, it wasn't a great experience because you know, I was stressed because of my pregnancy, and then I was stressed because just having to deal with, you know, the business side of things, and it made things hard, and I didn't want to deal with that stress anymore. So then after I had Addie, my daughter, my youngest, I went ahead and started working weekends because that was when my husband was able to care for my kids and watch them. And our current living situation is we don't really have family around who can, you know, come over, watch the kids, you know, at the drop of a dime. So me and him, my husband and I, we work really great as a team. We, you know, I always have the kids or he'll have the kids, but that's usually how it works. So we have to work around our schedules. So I was working on weekends. I was working Saturdays and Sundays, and that was going really well because I missed cleaning and things like that. And then my husband's schedule started picking up, and I wasn't able to. Nobody was wanting a cleaning during the evening. That's when, you know, you get off of work, you come home, you know, you're not wanting to have somebody in your house. You're wanting to relax and enjoy the time that you do have home without someone, you know, there cleaning. So then I went ahead and I just was done with that, and I also got to thinking about it more and more, and the more I wanted to, you know, I was just going to drop it, and then I was going to pick it back up when my youngest got into school. And the more I thought about it, the more, you know, I was like, you know, it was really hard. It was hard enough just to find, you know, dependable, trustworthy people. That do I really want to put myself through that again? So I went ahead and just said, you know what, I have to find something else. I've got to do something else. And it was coming to the point to where an additional body, my daughter, in the house, you know, and picking up after all three kids, it really did change the way I cleaned. I was so busy keeping up with my house that I was like, how am I going to do, you know, all of this? So I went ahead and I was looking into running an online boutique for the longest time. And at first the idea was that I wanted to do children's clothing because I love dressing up my daughter and making her look cute and bows and, you know, just everything, and my son too. But there's just a lot more cuter things for girls. So then I toyed around with the idea, and I was like, you know what, no, because it's not what I want to do, it's just what I would like to do. So then I was sitting down one day, and I always like taking pictures, whether it be of my kids or of other people. You know, I like taking pictures, and I love clothes. And where I'm located at, I have to buy online myself just because I don't have things that I like around here. Everybody in the South is all about, you know, the big hair, the gaudy jewelry, you know, the leopard print and all that other stuff. And I'm really not into that, and that's not my thing. You can see I'm a denim and legging basic kind of girl, and I do like other things, more like the bohemian styles, the captain hats, you know, just things like that, fedoras. And I wasn't really seeing a whole bunch of that around here. Every boutique pretty much had the same thing. So I kind of saw a market that I wanted to target, and I was like, I'm just going to run with it and we'll see where it goes. So basically, to start an online business, what you have to do is you really have to go for something that you're going to want to do, that you're always going to love, that you're going to enjoy, that's going to be something that you look forward to when you wake up. And it's not going to be easy. It really isn't. Starting a business isn't for the faint heart whatsoever at all, because you really have to keep at it and keep with it. Because the thing about a business is that you can be as successful as you want with it, or you can be as not successful as you want with it, and just let it go and let it just turn into something not great whatsoever at all. I mean, you really have to get out there. You have to market, you have to advertise, you have to constantly be, you know, be getting people. You have to business cards, you know, everything. You have to do all those things. So if you are wanting to start an online business, or just even a business in general, you really have to find something that you are going to be passionate about and that you're going to love and enjoy. After you do that and you've given it thought, then you kind of want to see where your savings is, see where money is. I personally am a veteran, so I go to school, and the veterans education, they pay for all my education, my books, all that stuff. So I receive a basic housing allowance. So even though I'm not working, while I do attend school, I get a basic housing allowance, which is once a month, and depending on where you live is depending on how much you get a month. And so I was able to save up 2 of those checks to put into this business that I wanted to do, and along with, you know, my husband's income, he you know, I'll kind of take from there and ask him, hey, do you think I can use some money to do this and put it toward this? And he'll say, yeah, sure. You know, he's really supportive in that. And that's another thing that you want to have. You want to have somebody who's going to support you, somebody who's going to, or a team that's going to support you, whether it be your mom, your sister, if you go into business with your brother, or, you know, just things like that. You want to have people who are going to support you and push you, because at the end of the day, it is your business. But if you feel like you're the only one that's pushing for it, it's going to be really hard to want to continue to do it, because it does get hard, and it's not easy at all. I want to say, for my cleaning business, I was out there, door hangers, flyers, newspaper ads, everything I could, for about, I want to say, a good month before, maybe even almost 2 months before I got a person to call and respond to my ad. After you do all that, you look into what you have saved up, and you don't always have to have money, you know, in order to start something. But that's just how I wanted to start off this business, because I knew it was going to take a little bit more money than cleaning. After that, you want to think about a business name. You want to think about your logo. My business name is Poised Charm, and I came up with that because, you know, everyone, like, growing up has always told me, you know, whether it be guys in the past or, you know, just women who have, you know, come up to me and complimented, you know, the way I carry myself. And I just kind of was looking up words on Google and just came across poised. And poised is basically, you know, you have confidence, you uphold yourself with a confidence and a calmness to you. And so that's what poised is. And then charm, because you know, back in the day, you know, when I didn't have to deal with this issue, you know, a lot of guys would be like, something so charming, you know, you just have this charm to you. So, you know, it's kind of things like that. You just kind of put words together. My cleaning business was home cleaning services for seniors. That was a tongueful, but it's something original, it's something unique, and right away the title gives the name that, or gives the impression that I only clean for seniors, because that's originally all I did. Until I started getting bigger and more people were coming, then I started taking in other people than seniors. So think of a business name. As for the logo, this is my logo right here, just basic black and white. There's so many apps, there's so many there's so many free logo websites that you can go onto and kind of create, get an idea. You don't pay for anything unless you got that kind of money. But I just have an app called Logo Maker that I looked up on the App Store for Android, and I toyed around with this, and I really love this. It's basic, simple, yet elegant, and kind of captures your attention. And that's pretty much how I am. I'm a basic, you know, girl, and I love black and white. Those are my two staple pieces. Black in the fall and the summer, and then white during in the fall and the winter, and then white during the summer and the spring. So you just kind of, you got to put yourself, your personality, and everything that you got into what you want to create. So after you got the logo and you got the brand and you've got your savings and you already know what you want to do, depending on how you want to file on this is going to go into like taxes and stuff like that. My home cleaning services for seniors was a sole proprietor, which meant that if somebody was going to come after me and sue me, they were going to take me for everything I had, because I didn't establish a division between my business and my personal belongings. So this time I went a whole different route, because I am online. I went ahead and filed for an LLC. You can do this through the state website, whatever state that you are in. You can go to mine, for instance, is okstate.gov. You can go into georgia.state.gov, California. You know, just look up the Secretary of the State is who you're going to file with. And maybe even some of you might do it through the DMV. I am not sure, but this is how I did this. So this is just to give you a general idea. I wanted to become an LLC, which is a limited liability corporation. And basically it's just so that my house, my things, my car, all of that is separated from my business if something were to go wrong and somebody were to come after, you know, my stuff. So after you go ahead and do that, for my state, I think prices vary per state. For my state, in order to become an LLC, it was $100 to file, and I was able to do it online. You didn't have to go to the courthouse. You didn't have to wait in lines. It was online, and I waited a couple days, and on that Sunday, I got the email, which was awesome. What you're going to want to do next is you're going to want to file an EIN, which is an employee identification number. This is for tax purposes. This is how when you file your taxes, you're going to be using this number in order to, you know, get everything that you put in. Not everything, but most of what you put in. You're going to want to go ahead and file that EIN, and that's something very important that you have to do. We'll get into that, but it's something that you have to do, and that I believe you can do on irs.gov. You're going to want to go to the IRS website, and you can file for it there. After you do that, you're going to want to, if you're going to be selling anything online, then you're going to want to apply for a sales permit. My sales permit for where I live, it was only $25. So already there's $125 that I've spent, and I haven't even opened my business or gotten merchandise or anything yet. So keep that in mind. you'll get your sales permit. You can do online as well, and it only took, I want to say, probably a couple days too, and I had it, and then that was it. I was able to sell in the state of Oklahoma. That's the EIN. And what you're going to want to do in order to keep all your stuff together is you're going to want to get a little binder to keep you organized. That way you can keep all your stuff together. Okay, now this is very important. I don't know if this is just in my state or if every state requires this. But after you do all that, after you have your sales permit, after you have your certificate for your LLC, which this is mine right here, my certificate for my LLC. There goes my pen. You're going to want to print it out, put it in, you know, some clear sleeves, as well as a sales permit you're going to want to put in a clear sleeve, and your EIN you're going to want to put in a clear sleeve, because then you're going to want to go and you're going to want to go open a bank account. This is everything before you even get your business up and running. The things that nobody talks about that you have to do up leading to opening, you know, or launching a business. You're going to have to or what I had to do in order for an LLC to open a bank account, you had to have an operating agreement. So my operating agreement is this thick, pretty thick, probably about, I don't even know, maybe about 1 inch thick, but you're going to have that, and basically it's just information on, you know, the formation of it, what's going to happen if you were to pass away, accident were to happen, who's going to get that money, the business, the money from the business that is sitting in the bank. Basically, that's all this is important for. And operating agreement is also, you know, good for you, just to kind of keep you to go buy it, something to go buy. So I had to do that. You're going to have to, this is the only thing that I had to do that did take a little time, and that I had to go to the bank in order to do it. You can't do this online. You have to go to a bank and sit there and go through all the paperwork and kind of wait for a little bit in order to get everything done. After you have your bank account open, then pretty much you are ready. Your business is up and running. You're ready. Let me see. Okay, so now we're going to get into a website. Now, I don't have crazy money, you know, in order to be spending, you know, dropping $500 in order for somebody to make it. No, I am on Shopify. Shopify is a big, huge e-commerce website making website for your store. And this is so simple. It's just shopify.com. And what you're going to do is you pay so much per month, which right now I want to say I'm at $48 a month that it takes out. But that's just because I'm having, you know, purchases and stuff like that. And I have to pay, you know, fees because, you know. So you're going to go to Shopify and you're going to create your website, and they make it super simple in order for you to create your website. There's YouTube videos on how to do it, which that's another thing. You have to, me not knowing anything about technology, I really had to sit there and mess with things, play with the ideas of things, and learn how to do everything on your own. I mean, as a business owner, you're learning, and that's just part of the process that you're going to do. So, I mean, you can't get frustrated with it and then just say screw this and give up. If this is something that you really want to do, then you have to put in the work to do it as well. It's not just like, hey, I have a store and then that's it. No. So you can go on Shopify, you can create a website, they have themes, and then you just kind of got to walk through the steps, and you'll learn how to do it, and then by the time you know it, it's just everything is simple and easy. If you want to take a look at my website for ideas or for inspiration, then it's www.poisecharm.com. Now, Shopify, you can build your website. Now, in order to obtain a domain, which is thepoisecharm.com, I went to GoDaddy.com. And my domain is only like $4.99 a month, and for security and stuff like that for a year, I think it was like $15. So $15, almost $20, about $19, $20 on top of, you know, the $125 you spent. That's already what, $45, $145 right there. So it's you don't have to have lots of money. You don't have to pay for somebody to do a logo. You don't have to pay for somebody to market your stuff or anything like that, build your website, or pay for anybody to, you know, have a domain. You can go to, and all these links that I'm talking to you about, I'm going to put the websites in the description box below, so be sure to check it for Shopify, for my website, for my store, for, you know, all of this. This is a disclaimer. This video is by no means wanting y'all to come to my store and purchase from me. This isn't what this is at all. This is just basically how to build an online business, and I'm just using my business as a example to show you guys. So okay, so now we have all the business part, you know, all the business side of things covered. You have your EIN, you have your certificate, and you have your bank account open. You're building your website on Shopify, and you have your domain on GoDaddy. So now all you're needing is merchandise in your store. So let me see. This right here, I like to do bookkeeping the old school way. And not everybody knows how to do this, and you're just going to kind of have to learn how to do this. But the internet and the websites and things that you go on make everything so simple now that you can just, you know, it's everything is categorized for you, so you don't really have to keep up with it as in detail, except for the things that you purchase maybe at a store in cash, or, you know, gas receipts and stuff like that. But I like to keep one of these. You can find these very cheap, Walmart, Target, wherever, and it's just an expandable file just to keep you kind of organized. And I've got the months in here, so there's January through December, but I started my business at the end of July and launched in August, so that is what that is. So I have my receipts in here for the certificate. I have the receipts for the sales tax permit and things like that. So now what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to shop around before merchandise and any of that. What you're going to want to do is you're going to want to shop around for packaging. Personally, me, I think everything is packaging. When something comes to me in the mail, that's the first thing I look at. Like, if it's something crappy, then I'm like, do I really want to, you know, if it's packaged really crappy, if it comes broken or something like that, do I really want to do business with this company again? So that is something that you want to think about as well. For my store, I have poly mailers, and I got them off of Amazon, so I'll put Amazon down there too so you can browse around. But I have poly mailers, and they are, I have everything in my living room right now. But here's the small poly mailers, and this is used for like jewelry. And then I have these bigger size poly mailers, which I use for clothing items. And these are great because, for one, you're not going to have to pay that much for shipping, because once you get into shipping, you're talking about weight, and then you're losing money if you're not charging for shipping and stuff like that. So that is what these are great for. And these, if you do pack things, nothing can be thicker than 0.75 centimeters, because if it is, then the post office won't take it and you can't use it in this. You're going to have to put it in a box. So that is what I use for my jewelry, my clothing, and stuff like that. So when I get my things from a store, usually they come in plastic and they come with their tags on them and stuff like that. So this is what I like to put my necklaces in. These you can find off Amazon too. You'll get a whole bunch of these. I like to put my necklaces in these, and then I have some square boxes that I like to put in my earrings in. And my packaging looks like this. This is just an example, and then I have a big thank you sticker on here. And that is how you will receive your package from me. And, you know, of course, I put my social cards in there, which is social cards. If I got mine off of Etsy. I'm trying to see if I have any readily available right now. Let me see. I think I took all of them out for that event that I was having. But you're going to want some social cards. which mine look like this. I got them off Etsy, and basically it's just outpoise charm, and got like about almost 200 of these things, and every time somebody purchases something, I will slip this in there along with a business card. So you're going to want a business card, which you can get them off Vistaprint. And then, let me see, I also have a personalized stamp, which basically just says thank you for your order, poisecharm.com. Let me see if I can find it so that I can show you guys. And it's like, no matter how organized you are with your stuff for your business things, once orders start coming in, everything just gets kind of rambled around. This is what the stamp looks like. This isn't how it comes to you. It's a lot darker, but this was just a little, to get all the ink off and ready for the next stamp. But pretty cool, pretty neat. I like to do that, and I also like to, you know, just make it personal for the person receiving the package, because I feel that, you know, it's nice to get something like that for somebody to be like, wow, I'm not just a customer, I'm a person to this business, you know. So that is what I like to put in the poly mailer as well. And you can go with any kind of poly mailer you want, but the way people are nowadays, people take mail off your doorstep, people take mail out of the mailboxes, so you kind of don't want to be too flashy about a package, because then they're going to be like, ooh, that looks nice, what's in there, you know, just by the packaging. So you kind of want to make it nice on the inside and keep it just, you know, casual on the outside, just so nobody, you know, starts taking things off your porch or your mailbox. After that, and the packaging, I like to also, for my clothing, I like to wrap it in tissue paper with a big thank you sticker on there as well. And it's just kind of like opening a Christmas gift for an adult, which I think is kind of fun. You know, it's like, ooh, you know, because sometimes you forget what you order and you're like, oh my goodness, you know, and it just makes it fun. So you got to think about things like that as well. So we covered packaging. I'm trying to think of what else. All this stuff you can find on Amazon, and I think that's pretty much it. We covered the legal part of it, we've covered the domain website part of it, we've covered packaging ideas, and pretty much that's pretty much it. And then, oh, you have to go onto your wholesale websites, and on these wholesale websites, if they're a legit wholesale, they're going to ask you for your sales permit number and your certificate, and they're going to want you to, you know, email it to them, or take a picture of it and send it over to him through email, so then that way they can see that you're a legit business. And you'll buy things in packs, which clothing, my highest pack has cost me probably about 180 bucks. And it comes with, that one came with 3 small, 2 medium, and 2 large of the clothing item that I had. So I do think that that's pretty reasonable, and basically you'll buy it a whole lot cheaper in a pack than you're going to sell for in your store individually. But you'll learn all that. But basically that's pretty much it. And you just, like I said, you have to have a lot of heart, you have to have a lot of drive. If you're going to do an online store, then I recommend you either doing a Facebook business page, starting up an Instagram account, and just start promoting yourself any way that you can, to friends, to family. And don't be bothered if your friends and family are the ones who don't support you the most, because that happens. And for whatever reason, that's part of business, and that's what happens. So strangers are going to end up supporting you more than your family and friends will. So don't be, you know, hurt by that, because that happens to a lot of people. And then they'll start coming around slowly once they start to see that, wow, this business is doing pretty good. So you're going to want to do all that. And before you launch, you're going to want to, you know, take pictures of your items. You're going to want to get a backdrop. You're going to want to get a real person. Or you're going to want to do flat lays, which just kind of make the, you know, clothing pieces lay flat on the ground and take pictures of them. There's a lot that does go into it that people just think, oh wow, a website, how easy is that? No, there's a lot that goes into it, and you're on a schedule, because for me, I do Facebook Lives coming out with new arrivals weekly, and I have to make sure my inventory is ordered and here by that day in order to get emails out, which, oh, that's another thing. You're going to want to, in order to get an email list, you're going to want to go on mailchimp.com, and you can pair it up to your Shopify store, and then what you're going to do is you're going to email a mass email with whatever it is that you're wanting folks to know about your store, whether it be an announcement, a sale, new clothing, new accessories, new items, things like that. So I like to send my emails out every Tuesday night, every Monday night or Tuesday night, because then my new arrivals will go live on Wednesday, every Wednesday. So you'll get into a schedule, you'll get into routine. At first you're like, what the hell am I doing? How am I even doing this? What am I doing? Do I know what I'm doing? You know, you're going to ask yourself all kinds of questions, but you can do it. You can do it. Anybody can do it. It's just that it's not for the faint-hearted, and you really have to have drive, motivation. You have to be the type of person that can work and have discipline enough to motivate yourself in order to do these things. And you're shipping out to people, so you got to think about that. I mean, you can't, you know, have an order come to you, collect the money, and then don't ship out for like a month. No, this is a business. You have to ship out like you're freaking Amazon Prime or something, you know what I mean? And I think a lot of people, once they start buying, it carries word of mouth, and then, you know, I have a couple techniques that I use that have been working for my store and getting people to my store and purchasing. So you'll learn, and there's a lot of things that go into it, but at the end of the day, you're making money. Whether it's a lot or a little, you made money, and that's better than just sitting at home being depressed and living with this. It'll take your mind off of it, and it'll keep your mind occupied with other things because you're so busy with it. But that is going to conclude today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed, and let me know. Give me ideas for another video that you want to see or that you're interested in. And I love you all, and I hope you all have a great day, and I hope this really does motivate some of you and give you some kind of direction on how to get started and where to go, because when you have no idea about how to go about things, videos like this do help, because they kind of give you a jump start and a direction to go in. But alright guys, I'm going to hop off here. I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.